Hello, I'm Mike. I'm an ex Hells Angel member. I was a member and started the Fresno charter, and I transferred to Santa Barbara to start them up, and then I transferred back to Fresno, and that's where I left in 2011. I'm chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Mike Lynch.
I have seen and you know what I mean? If you live there all your life, you pretty much know who's who, or you've had some kind of one-on-one with these pricks. And so you got about as good as an understanding as you could possibly get. You know, this is about as far as I'm going to go with you. And if not, let's just go fight and get this over with. You, man. I mean, really, I'm not going to let you take away my manhood, my intelligence, my integrity, because you got a $5 badge on. You know, hey, we know what to do. We're fucking grown men. You know, you act like we sit outside elementary schools with a bag of,
Yeah,
little kids.
That's how they act, right? That's how they act.
90% of the time when they're doing that, do you know what this shit's doing? Okay, hey, you know what? The individual that does what he does, he's responsible for his actions, not the club. You know, we act autonomously, and when if a member gets in trouble and it's a personal thing, well, yeah, we're sympathetic. Yeah, okay, but are we financially responsible? Are we going to go out of our way for measures that was for you and you alone? The guys that get caught usually know it's on you. Same with when I got arrested. I paid for everything myself because it wasn't club related and it wasn't for the something to benefit our club. By me doing whatever. So just, if it's a politics or illegal this or assaults and things like that, then the club comes together and we help whoever needs help. You got things like Laughlin.
Yeah.
You've got all these things. You had Laconia on the East Coast. A lot of members were, tied up in that. Well, that was you representing us. And when they tried to bully the people they shouldn't have, they got mad because they had the bag of peas out when they went home. And now we got a big old court case, but they're over there like that, and we're going home. Most of us did. A few of the guys didn't. They did their time out there, and but they know, leave that little thing in your pocket, leave that thing in your holster, keep your attitude. If you see a bunch of it, don't go there and say, I bet I can, because I could probably bet you 100 you're not. It's just that we have the mentality we may not always win, but we never fucking lose. Simple as that. And if it's one of your guys and you see him getting tossed by whoever, you're there to prevent that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter.
Well, after you've had your few years in, your fucking heart starts beating. Even just when you recognize a situation, you're already in mode. Your adrenaline, your everything. You're not going to let your guys get hurt no matter what. So
have you ever been in a situation where something pops off and somebody maybe it surprises you to the way that they react to a situation?
You in any organization, okay, and I mean any, even in law enforcement, I don't care who it is, you're going to get a guy that says, yeah. They raise their hand. Okay, now, once you've done that, you've said all you need to say to me. I shouldn't have to turn around and look to see if you're helping whoever out. You know what I mean? I expect it, and the same is expected out of me. I don't sit there and you better not be smoking a joint while fuckers are over here getting their heads knocked in. But we've had incidences where, and they're rare, but still it happens, just like any other walk of life. Maybe the guy that raised his hand raised it a little bit too fast and a little bit too high. Because when it gets ugly like that, it's ugly. And a lot of guys that never experienced it, they're hesitant, and that's no good with us.
And now when someone acts like that and the smoke settles, right? Do you call them to the carpet?
Well, the powers that be will. I mean, if it's something that flagrant, whatever charter is probably going to be notified. And if it was that bad, then the charter is going to handle their own business. It's not for me to go say, hey, Joe Blow, I'm not a tattletale and I'm not the police of the club. But if something went really wrong and somebody got arrested or somebody got hurt, those would be grounds to have a talking to.
So like you said, what if someone does something wrong around your charter from a different charter? Do you have to notify their charter? Like,
no. 99% of the time, you try to handle it right there, right then. Hopefully it doesn't have to go any further, because that's just extra bullshit on whoever's running the show. It's more shit on their plate that they don't, because I'm one of them guys, man, I got a job. I don't need to be dealing with this stupid shit. Now, if you can get it out of your systems and everything's good. If it's worse than that, then, I would say the leader of one charter would talk to another leader and discuss it. And what do you think? I know lately, because of our media and all that stuff, the last 3 or 4 years have been kind of rough on the club and some goings-ons, and whether I wasn't there, so I'm not going to go throw out my 2 cents, but I sure would love to think that maybe there was one other thing that we might be able to have done or talk, and if there's one of those situations where there's no talking, well, then so be it. You know what I mean? So be it. But, you read, like I said, the last 3 or 4 years has been bad news, and not just with our club,
a lot of them. Yeah.
A lot of clubs, and they're all, and, they're not just snatching up this guy. They take the whole fucking mob. In Bakersfield, this arrested the whole charter. They just recently did the thing at the Wawa and all that shit. Well, they arrest 9-10 guys. Yeah. Well, how are you going to have a charter if they're all incarcerated? And like I said, I'm not there. So as a leader, I would read the situation. If it was already out of control, then, hey, I'm in with the rest. I mean, yeah, it's already kicked off. What have I got to say? But sometimes not everybody is articulate, the people you're dealing with. And if that's the case, then you talking.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the other side.
We had guys in there that said fuck talking at all times. But I was of the thing like, man, that seems pretty petty. Let's see if we can do something here. And if not, then, everybody knows what to do on both sides. And that's the way it is.
Let's talk about rivalries that you've had with other clubs. You don't have to name any clubs.
No, I
But like coming up on the West Coast, there's certain rivalries out there, and then there's different rivalries all over the country. maybe some of the people you maybe not even came across, just like Pee Wee hasn't even come across certain clubs.
Exactly. And well, I would say California is a hot spot. East Coast, when I say East Coast, I mean all the states on the seaboard there. They're so close together. I mean, when you can have an Outlaws clubhouse 5 blocks down from a Hell's Angel clubhouse in the same fucking town, well, that gives me food for thought, at all times. You know what I mean? I just use that as an example, but man, it's happened so many times, especially on the freeway, in California. I mean, freeways is where we all go, and we're all going, and you see our packs, you see their packs, you do all these things. Well, I try to teach them youngsters. I said, hey, homie, if you see a black Suburban, or you see this, and you see 4 windows come down like that simultaneously, and they're getting close to us, I'm just going to take a wild stab at it. I don't think they're friends of ours.
Probably not.
Possibly not. But why wait and find out?
So have you had that happen?
A lot of things have happened. You could be
What
getting
do you
gas.
do? What do you do if you're on the
You
highway?
don't do anything. You assess what's going on. If somebody doesn't come to you, then you carry on what you're doing. But I've been at gas stations where I looked down the block and I saw things that weren't right, and I said, okay, guys, y'all get gas, all you. I'm the only one that didn't. But I have my pump in my hand.
Because you're looking out.
With $10 on it. I'm just saying, before anybody gets us, I'll get gas somewhere else. I mean, you never know. Each situation that you run across is different. It's just, you just never know. That's the thing. The fear of the unknown.
Now, is there times when you guys are around each other and other rival groups and there's tension in the air, but people aren't really doing things?